who's it for? What's it for? These are two crucial questions that you need to ask yourself as a writer when you write something. All the time, all the time. Why? Because skilled writers have a sense of audience, okay? They know they're writing something for someone. Who's it for? And they're writing with intention, so they have a purpose in mind. All skilled writers do this. So if you start writing something that you want to publish, okay, I need to say this, that you want to publish, it might be an article, it might be a blog post, it might be a review, you need to know who's it for. So who is your reader? What does your reader want? What do you want them to feel after they've read your piece? So this is crucial. It's because once you know who you're writing for, then everything becomes easier, because you know that this person is reading your article, is reading your writing because they want to know something. For example, if you write an article about a personal story, okay, you want to write a personal story of maybe a challenge that you had to face in the past, and then you want to tell this story about how you overcame that challenge, then you need to know, you need to ask yourself, why am I writing this story, and who am I writing it for? So if I'm writing this story for a person who might be facing this challenge in this very moment, okay, that's your audience. You know, you already know how they feel. You already know because you used to feel like them. And you also know what they want by reading the story, or what they hope to find out, what they hope to get by reading your article. And then you need to give it to them. If you don't know the answers to these two crucial questions, the risk is that you wonder about like this. You don't have a goal in your writing, in the piece that you're writing. So the risk is that you throw everything in. You might add irrelevant details, which in a story is one of the best way to confuse your reader, adding irrelevant details. You keep digressing from the main point. That's the risk. That's another risk. And of course, you're writing, what's the final product? Your article will be uninteresting, boring, confused. Whereas if you find a way to direct your writing into that direction, sorry, that's a very bad sentence, but to focus your writing on one thing, on one single thing, so you have a purpose, you have an audience in mind, then all the rest is fluff. Okay, fluff. You don't need it. It's irrelevant. So this is why in a previous video I said that skilled writers pre-write. So when they pre-write, when they plan what to say, what they want to, what their message, what the message needs to be, then they also think about these things. Who am I writing for? What's the reason for this? Why does Stephen King write horror books? I think he's got a purpose in mind. He doesn't write horror books just because, he feels like it. Well, maybe, but he knows by this time, I'm sure, he knows who his audience is, and he knows what they want. Then maybe, of course, this doesn't automatically means that you will be successful. This doesn't mean that your article or your writing will be interesting. You never know how the public will react to your writing, to anything that you put out there into the world. But it's highly likely that your article, that your writing will be, that your story will be more clear and intentional and interesting. This is today's tip. And I'm thinking about this because I'm working with a couple of students on my writing program, and I see that I am one of those. Of course, I'm not saying that I don't do these things, but especially when I don't have a clear plan in mind or an idea of what I want to write, then everything becomes really difficult to put on paper. So my students here are trying to say too many things in one piece, in one article. Less is more. Less is more in writing. Less is more. Even in at the sentence level. Okay, no, sentence level. Let's not talk about sentence level. I will talk about this in another video. But you got the message, okay? You got the message. Who's it for? What's it for? These are actually two questions that you need to ask yourself anytime you create something, really. And it's something that I learned from a writer, from Seth Godin. Seth Godin, if you know who he is, check him out. Is on YouTube everywhere. He's a teacher. He defines himself as a teacher, and he says, anything you create, you need to ask yourself these two questions. Otherwise, it's too generic. You become too generic, okay? And your writing becomes too generic as well. That's it. Thank you. Let me know what you think. I hope you find this helpful. I hope you find it useful. Let me know in the comments what you think, or if you have any questions. All right. Bye-bye.